Hey everybody, Cougar here, back with day 2 of our beginner's quick start guide for the amazing underwater survival game Subnautica. As we wait for the sun to rise here on Subnautica, let's go over our day 2 priorities. Today we are going to build a scanner, an air bladder, and a repair tool. I also want to show you another method for obtaining fresh drinkable water. On day 1 I showed you how to catch and process bladderfish for a small bottle of filtered water. Today we're going to use salt and coral to make bleach. We're then going to use that bleach to make a larger supply of fresh drinkable water. So as the sun starts to rise here on Subnautica, let's dive in and start our gathering activities. The first thing we're going to be thinking about is making a scanner. To do that, we are going to need a battery. To make a battery, we are going to need copper and acid mushrooms. Now, as you can see, acid mushrooms are all over the place here. Those are not hard to obtain. So we're going to focus on finding some limestone outcroppings in hopes of getting some copper. Limestone outcroppings are usually found on the walls here in the safe shallows. I broke a limestone outcropping and found some copper ore.
Copper is an essential component of all powered equipment. Your probability of survival has just increased to unlikely, but plausible, detecting increased local radiation levels. Trend is consistent with damage to the Aurora's drive core, sustained during planet fall.
I just wanted to show you that here's another one of the rare tutorial messages you're going to get. Once you have crafted a knife, it will tell you to cut this creep vine with the knife. You see, stalkers are not that dangerous. Here I am swimming with 3 stalkers and they're just barely interested in me.
Oxygen.
So this is telling me to cut this creep vine. What I'm going to do is... a stalker crept up on me
New blueprint acquired.
and gave me a bite, but you can see that he only took away about 1/4 of my health. We're not in too bad shape. We're going to cut this creep vine though, just so I can show you that you can use creep vine to craft stuff. You can also eat it for a quick snack out on the road. Let's do that now. Eat that for 3 food and 1 water, just to kind of top us off. Alright, we are still looking for... Well, we got 1 copper. It'd be nice to have another one. We don't need it, but I will try to pick one up if I can find one easily. If not, we'll just grab some acid mushrooms and go back and build a battery. I'm not seeing any other... There's a limestone outcropping. That gave me titanium.
Oxygen.
Now there's a nice looking cave down there. I'll bet we can find some goodies down in the cave. So let's grab some O2 and head back. Now down here in these caves, this is an excellent place to go looking for quartz. You need quartz to make glass. We don't need anything with glass in it right now, but there's a limestone outcropping that gives us our 2nd copper.
Detecting sulfur deposits in the local cave systems. Sulfur is an essential component of the repair tool.
Yes, sulfur is a vital component of the repair tool, which is one of the things that we're going to be building today. Sulfur is obtained from the nests of crash fish. Crash fish can be very dangerous, and they are found down in these caves down here. That's a crash fish. Now we took a little bit of damage there. Try to find his nest. I'm not really sure where he came from just now. There's his nest, and if we pick up the cave sulfur inside, we now have a vital ingredient for our repair tool. That was kind of a haphazard stumbling across some sulfur there. I may actually go and get some more just to show you how it's done, not in an accidental way. But another thing we were going to be doing today was making fresh water from bleach, which requires salt. So I'll be picking up any salt I stumble across along the way. Yes, Mr. Stalker, no, you cannot eat me. We now have 2 pieces of copper and some salt. If I go over here to one of these giant coral tubes, and swing my knife on it, right-click to swing your knife, and I'm picking up pieces of coral that I can use to make bleach. So we have 2 pieces of copper. Now we have 3 pieces of copper. Now I can pick up acid mushrooms. We need 2 acid mushrooms to make 1 battery. I have 3 pieces of copper, so I'm picking up 6 mushrooms. I can make 3 batteries. Back aboard the life pod, go to our fabricator, resources, basic materials. I have salt and coral. I'm going to make a bottle of bleach.
Bleach is an essential chemical used for cleaning wounds and purifying water.
Yes, that's why we want it. Now I'm going to go to resources, electronics, and use our mushrooms and our copper ore to make some batteries.
New blueprint acquired.
I had enough materials for 3 batteries there. Back to our resources, basic materials. I just want to break down that piece of metal salvage we picked up. Now we can go to personal equipment, and not equipment is not what we wanted. We wanted personal tools, and we have a battery and a piece of titanium. We can build a scanner. Now,
The scanner can be used to synthesize blueprints from salvage technology and to record alien biological data.
great, that's what we're going to use it for. Now, because we stumbled across that cave sulfur, and we already have some silicone rubber, we have everything we need to make our repair tool. Let's go ahead and make that now. It pops down right into our bar. The only other thing we wanted to build today was an air bladder. For that, we are going to need a bladder fish. But as long as we're in here and we have our repair tool, let's go ahead and repair the life pod.
LifePod secondary systems online, running full environment diagnostic and outputting results to databank.
Great, that is something that we can review by going to our PDA, into our databank, and finding the environmental scan that it just gave us. We're not going to worry about that right now, but you see that even though a lot of this stuff is online and deployed, our radio still is not working. So let's go over here and repair that. Well, that's exactly what we wanted it to do. Another thing we can do now that it's fixed is play the message that is waiting for us here.
This is Aurora. Distress signal received. Rescue operation will be dispatched to your location in 9 hours. Continue to monitor for emergency transmissions from other life pods.
We are going to do that. We're going to continue to monitor that radio for emergency transmissions from other life pods. Those can be very important. We still need a bladder fish to make our air bladder. Let's go ahead and jump out. And there's a bladder fish right there. And we're going to need something to eat at some point as well. So let's go ahead and pick up
Creature discovered.
a whole fish and a peeper. All right, and now right back to the life pod. Let me just point out, as long as we're here right on top of it, these massive coral tubes are an excellent place to start gathering resources when you first jump into the game. If you happen to stumble across one of these in your early game, you can get so much good stuff out of here. You can get quartz, you've got lots of limestone outcroppings. This is just a fantastic resource for you in the early game. There's a crash fish. He gave us a little bit of damage there. I kind of got hung up on the wall. There's more cave sulfur, which we probably are not going to need, but just to show you that because we kind of stumbled across that other one accidentally, this is where you want to be looking for them. Now, luckily, he did not get that close because we are fairly low on health here. I would actually like to, if I have a health pack on me, go ahead and pop that med kit. Bring our health back up. Alright, back here at the life pod, we were going to go to personal tools, use an air bladder and some silicone rubber. Excuse me, a bladder fish and some silicone rubber to make an air bladder. Alright, the other thing we wanted to do, now that we have some bleach, we were going to go to sustenance, water, and use the bleach to make 2 times disinfected water. These are larger bottles.
Today's water ration ahead of time will help ensure against dehydration and eventual death.
That is my plan, to ensure against eventual death. Well, we all gotta die sometime, but if we look at our PDA here, see, this is the water we just made. This replenishes 30 water versus the stuff we made yesterday from the bladder fish, which only replaces 20 water. We also have some raw fish on us. I want to cook that up to demonstrate something for you. Now, if you look at our health levels, along with our food and water supply, you see that we are below 75% food and below 50% water, and our health is not regenerating. But if I go in and eat this stuff we just cooked, bringing us up to near 100% on food and 100% on water, now if you watch our health gauge, it will replenish over time. See it kind of bouncing like that? Give it another second. And now it's at 92. And another second, it'll be at 93. So a way to naturally regenerate your health is to just keep your food and water topped off at all times. But as long as we're back here at the escape pod, let me check the med kit fabricator and pull up that other med kit from it. Alright, well, we kind of stumbled through that, our day 2 activities, a little faster than anticipated. We built a scanner, we built an air bladder, and we built a repair tool. We used the repair tool to repair some vital equipment on the life pod. We also retrieved some salt and cut some coral tubes to make bleach, which gave us a large supply of fresh water. One thing I will show you is just how the air bladder works. For that, I would like to find, here, there's something. A stalker saw us but got hung up on some terrain. So we have our scanner now, right? These cargo boxes that you see lying around may have important fragments in them that you will scan in order to learn new blueprints. So we now have half of the blueprint we need to build a sea glide. So let me just get a little bit deeper here, and I'm going to pull up our air bladder and activate it.
30 seconds.
And it drags us right up to the surface very quickly, which can be very helpful, very useful, especially in the early game when you don't have a lot of oxygen and you don't have a sea glide. Alright, so as I said, we stumbled through our day 2 activities fairly quickly. We got a scanner, we got a air bladder, and we got an air bladder, and we got a repair tool, and we built some we crafted some fresh water. So there you go. That is actually going to do it for our day 2 activities, but since the sun is still up, let me just cruise around and maybe scan some more stuff, like the acid mushrooms, as a databank entry, and the limestone outcropping as another databank entry. And we can even scan our friendly neighborhood gas pods. Took a little bit of damage from their gas, but not deadly. And I think that's going to do it. The sun is starting to set. Here is a large fragment that we can scan. That is a fragment of a bioreactor. Pop our air bladder, activate it, let it drag us to the surface very quickly. I see some salt down there, might as well grab that. As the sun sets on day 2 in Subnautica, we'll grab this last little piece of salt. And we already have, hello stalker. We already have some coral on us, so we can make even more water. Nighttime is a good time to be back at base doing some crafting or reviewing maybe some of your encyclopedia entries. You can be out doing stuff at night, but you will probably want a flashlight in order to do that. To build a flashlight, if we pull up our PDA, go to Blueprints, scroll down to Tools, and a flashlight requires a battery and glass. Now we picked up some quartz in that cave we found earlier, so we can actually do that tonight as part of our day 2 activities. Let's go to the fabricator, resources, basic materials, use 2 times quartz to create glass. Remember, we created more than 1 battery, so we should be able to go to Tools and craft a flashlight. And since we're here back at the pod, we can go, we can use the salt we just picked up and the coral sample that we already had on us to create some bleach. And then use that bleach to create, go to sustenance and water, create more disinfected water, and store it in our storage container. We'll keep 1 water on us at all time. It's an old whole fish. I'll go ahead and eat that up. We can lose some of this silicone rubber as well, maybe some of this titanium. We don't really need to be carrying all this stuff around. All right, well, again, that does it for day 2. The sun has set. We'll call it a day on Subnautica. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. We'll be doing more of these tutorial type guides as we go along. For now, stay safe, stay dry.